the way and what got me started in this business was the fact they said, hey, we have this thing called leads. Because when I first heard life insurance, I thought that meant you have to sell to all your friends and family. I was like, there's no way that I could do that. I didn't think I was a prospector. I was like, there's no way this could work. So when they said there was leads, and then when I started helping families, like, oh my gosh, it's working. She's making sales. I could do that too. Or a current client. Like I need, you put me in front of somebody, I can solve a problem. I just wasn't good at finding people with problems. So leads were powerful. Now that too. So when that clicked with me, I thought that. So the next thing is, okay, so how do I get these leads? How many should I get? How do I need to think about leads? So that's kind of some of what I'm going to get into right here, into the nuts and bolts of that. When we start working with leads cost money to manufacture. So there's two ways to get them. One is you can pay for them, or two is we can pay for them. Either way is okay. They both work. So some people are like, well, Mike, I'm liquid. I'm not afraid to put money in the leads. I said, good. Then we can typically start you a higher commission level because you're going to take care of the lead cost. Or you say, Mike, no, I don't know if this is going to work, and I'm a little bit concerned. That's how I was. So kind of help me out with leads at first, and so that's fine. We can help you with leads, but you start you at a lower commission level. So we can get you rolling either way, but here's one of the key things. You need to make sure as you're getting that we've got enough leads for you to work with. We've got to make sure that you're putting enough dials because, like as Chris said, he got good by making lots of dials. I think one of the mistakes that I see is I'll have an agent that says, well, I've got $57 of leads. I've got $57 to invest in leads. I would like the higher commission level, but they really need a lot more than $57 of leads to start. And so they're thinking that they're going to, okay, I got $57. I said, what about the next week? Or you really need like a couple $100 worth of leads to get rolling, and you need it for maybe a couple weeks in a row to kind of get some traction, get things figured out. So I think that's one of this is the mindset of going in, giving yourself the grace to fail, giving yourself enough swings at the bat, and making sure that you come at it realizing that, yes, I see how good Chris Manifold is. Yes, I see how good Brian Beasley or Charlie or Lane is, or Tad, am I giving myself a chance to put enough dials to get as good as them? Because everybody wants to be as good as them, right? Or better. The problem is we all don't want to do the work to do what they did to become as good as they are. So I think that's one of the things to make sure you give yourself the grace and the time to fail to get good. That's a mistake. So don't make that mistake. So that means give yourself enough time, give yourself enough leads, and put in the work and get some coaching. Now, because this says, how much do you want to make? And then choose your week. This gives you a map. It's not a perfect map, but it's a very good guideline on what your business needs based on what your goals are. So if we go right to, let's pick 1,000, 3,000. So if you said, Mike, I want to make 3,000 a week, 150,000 a year. Well, you probably need to be writing 10 apps a week. In order to write 10 apps, you probably need to sit with 18 families. In order to sit with 18 families, you probably need to book 25 appointments, which means you probably need to have 35 connects, which means you might need to make 300 dials to get those 35 connects to pull that off. Okay? Now, what do I need for leads on that? Well, you might need a $500 lead investment to pull that off. Okay? Now, I'm probably even more conservative than that. In your first year, I would say if you want to make 3,000, my ratio I tell people if you're new is expect a 4x. If you say, well, Mike, if I put 400 into leads, I'm probably bringing about 1,600. If I put 600 into leads, 4 times 600 is probably about 2,400. Okay. And again, when you start, you might suck. So you can't be like, well, you can't just sit there and say, well, I bought my $600 worth of leads. Where's my 2,400 of commissions? Okay, you're going to have to make some calls, see some people, make some mistakes to get the policies issued, right? So, and first thing is we're not advocating somebody starts with $1,000 worth of leads on their first week. Now, is there anything wrong with it? No. If you're confident and want to run, you can, but we're not saying to do it and not to do it as much as we're saying understand the ratios and understand the fact that you're going to need to fail a little bit as you're coming up to speed. Okay, so this is part of the math that's here. So if you say, well, Mike, early on, if I want to make 1,000 a week, I would say, yeah, writing 3 apps, probably going to need to sit with 6 families to do that and have 10 appointments booked, which means you might need to talk to 20 or more people. And who knows, you might need to make 200 dials, you might need to make 300. Or again, depending on the type and quality of leads may dictate what do those numbers look like. Okay. So this is a guide. It gives you ratios. And if you're ever sitting there and you're planning your leads for the week, you can use this as a reference. So just keep yourself accountable for the thinking. Now, here's the crazy fun thing. The more efficient you get, the better these ratios get. The more your renewals build, the better these ratios are, because your back end money, your renewals and secondary sales and everything else. I mean, like right now, Megan Wood, she's bringing in $20,000 a week on a $1,500 lead investment, right? From her personal sales alone. So she's like, for her, instead of it being a 4X, 1,500 goes in with about 7 times. You know, she sees like, I mean, or whatever it is, it's, you know, the math right, it's like 7 or 8 times whatever she's putting in, she's getting back. So that's a huge, huge difference as you start to build your business, and how you think about that. Okay, so that gives you kind of the macro picture on lead costs and lead investment. Now, if we get into our little bit of a guide on our alphabet soup of lead types, we have direct mail leads. Direct mail leads are my favorite. We have internet leads. We have social media leads, which are a lot like the internet leads. We talk about them different, but basically the same thing. And if we get out there, we even have something called a live transfer call. That's a little bit out there. Our favorite is the direct mail lead. That's where somebody received a letter, opened the mail, they read it, they filled the form out, they stuck it back in an envelope and sent it out. They have to go through so much mechanical stuff, it kind of forces them to remember. Now, do they all remember? No, because they're seniors. Okay, but their recall of their own handwriting is much higher than when it's an internet form that they might have typed in or auto-filled some stuff online. So, am I saying internet leads? No. All leads are good. Because I'm the kind of guy that at times I can become a lead inspector. I'm sitting there and thinking, what about this lead? Yeah, I need to look and I start to wonder what kind of person this was, or I'm like, well, gosh, Alex, this one's too far away. It's another county, or Alex, this one here, they don't seem to be answering the phone, or this person's old. I mean, I can come up with a bunch of crazy little stuff. And I was like, Mike, if you just get more leads and call and get better, you'll work through that. He said, Mike, I didn't get you all started to be a lead inspector. I got you started to be meeting with the families. So I had to kind of get over my desire to want to tell somebody how good or bad the leads were, and just get to calling and realize there are going to be some crazy weird ones and some good ones. And my job is to get out there and work. So that's my biggest thing, is get yourself in a habit of working, not inspecting. Inspect your own activity and results. And so within this, in our direct mail, we have some different types. We have a final expense. We have a mortgage protection. We have a Medicare. On the internet side, there's a final expense. There's a no medical exam life insurance lead that's out there that we've got on the internet type stuff. There's Medicare, and on life transfer, there's some other stuff too. So those are the different types of bait that we can put off of these hooks, if you will. And then we have different classifications, like we have what we call an A0 or a fresh lead. Then we have follow-up leads. We have discounted leads. Those basically distinguish, is this a virgin lead that's not seen the light of day? You're the first agent that's going to see it. Or is it a follow-up type of lead that somebody else has seen? Or is it a lead that maybe came in, we didn't have anybody to take it, so it's sat on the shelf, but it's still not seen the light of day yet? So we've got this alphabet soup of stuff. I'm not going to bore you to tears with that. But I'll also say, when you're planning your leads, get with the person that's coaching you the day before your dial day. So if you're following the schedule that Chris follows, that a lot of our agents follow, where you're dialing Monday for Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday should be your planning time for your leads for Monday. So why not plan Monday? Because you should be dialing at 8, right? So if you wait until Monday at 9, it's like you already missed some of the best window of dial time. So make sure your leads are planned on Sunday, so you're ready for Monday, but get with a person that's coaching you to make sure everything's good to go. You know, same thing if you're dialing on Thursday, make sure Wednesday that you've got some time where you're planning and got enough leads to get rolling for Thursday. The price points on the leads vary, but the dollar budget kind of comes out in line with the ratios on that form. Because you might say, well, Mike, those direct mail ones are more expensive. Those are 30 something a piece. I said, I know, but 10 of those might be worth 100 of the $2 or $3 leads, right? So, but now, well, Mike, I want to, now you also have to look what's available at this moment in my county. Well, only this type is available. Well, that might be the best type to get if it's the only kind in your county, or do we need to look at another county nearby? Do we need to look at another source? So that's the next thing. Whoever's working with you can help you plan. They can help you plan, hey, and they know stuff that may not be visible, because that's another trick. Is one of the things we have is you can have what's called a GMR, where you get a steady flow of leads coming into you exclusively. That's automatic. Now it's got to be set up 4 or 5 weeks ahead of time, because you can't just say, I want a GMR leads tomorrow. Well, they don't exist yet because they're going to be made for you. You know, it takes some time. So you got to understand that, but we'll look at what other kind of leads. So leads work. It's an investment that gets you predictable results. It takes planning. It takes responsibility to make it work. So there's a lot to it. We're obviously not going to cover everything in that, but one, see the value in it. Two, create your plan, and be checking on that plan. If you're working and dialing twice a week, check your leads just like before you go into battle. Let's make sure we got some ammo.